Hello, it's up to Mono. Doing another review tonight. I feel the need to. Quick story, I have on my bedside cabinet, it's kind of like my perfume project. The things that are next to me at night, next to my bed, are things that I need to do. Bottles that I'm trying to finish, reviews I'm trying to do, and this sample has been looking at me since Gary Greenwood, thank you, you sent me this. It's been staring at me, so I'm doing it because it's just a thing to check off of my perfume list. I'm so OCD with perfume, with my perfume habits and ways that yeah, I just get a bit too involved. But this is the next review. Excuse me. This is Wood Mystique by Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder, to me, growing up in the 80s and 90s, I wrongly put Estee Lauder in a box. I always see them as being Estee Lauder, the perfumes that she releases, they're usually the more classic fragrances. She seems to have an affinity with florals, you know, big bold florals, things like Pleasures and Youth Dew, you know, things like that. And, you know, as we're going on in time, the company seems to be moving away from those kind of perfumes and releasing stuff that's a little bit different. You know, there's things like Sensuous now, Sensuous Nude and Sensuous Night, is it? I'm not sure. But yeah, it used to be the whole floral thing going on, and it's changed, which is good because, you know, move with the times. So this one came out in 2006, I believe. I think I might have just read that wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's jumped onto the trend of oud. This is an oud-based fragrance, and like fashion, there are trends. You know, one year everyone's wearing jeggings, really bad example, and next year they're not. It seems to be 2014, last year, was the year of the oud, and everyone has started to release oud fragrances. I'm still very iffy with oud. I say that every time I review a fragrance that contains it. But this is based around oud. It's favoured by, the ingredient itself is favoured by Arabian perfume companies. It's a very unforgiving note. It's really powerful, and it's essentially rotted wood. It's agar wood that is, once it's got this kind of decay in it and bacteria, it produces this amazing scent that is used in perfumes. So I think the Western world, is that the right thing to say? The commercial perfumery world has taken something from the Arabian world, which is an entirely different ballgame of perfumes, and they've jumped on the bandwagon. I've tried a few. I'm not too fond of oud, but I'm going to say before I review this, this is probably the nicest oud fragrance I've ever smelled, because it's done in just the right level. It's not too overpowering or crazy. I have Arabian perfumes that are just mind-blowingly strong and oudy and weird, so this one's great. Well done, Estee Lauder. So I'll go through with you what the notes are. So let's put some on my arm. I've got it dry on my hand, and I'm going to put a little bit wet on because I like to be able to smell it in 2 stages, as I do. So the top notes are pink pepper and peony, a lightly spicy pepper, and then a really kind of soft sweet floral, which gets lost completely. I would completely ignore the fact there's peony in it completely. Say that again. The heart notes are iris, another very soft powdery flower, lost, jasmine, ylang-ylang or ylang-ylang, rose and mimosa, and then the base notes are leather, oud of course, raspberry, benzoin, cedar and patchouli. So okay, I've got it wet here. What I want to talk about this first is the level of oud that's in it. Like I said before, so many fragrances that contain it really do, it just overshadows everything, and I really do appreciate the fact that Estee Lauder's managed to make something that is very balanced. It's not all about the oud. She's managed to make, I don't know who made the perfume, I should have researched that too. The person that made this perfume, I'm sure it's not Estee herself, has managed to create an oud fragrance where rose is very prominent too, and also raspberry. So those are the three things that really prevail in the opening. It's a crisp rose, it's a very dark fruity rose with oud just sailing over the top. It's really gorgeous, it's sharp as well, and it has a very distinct sensuality about it. I would call this a sexy perfume. It's kind of a nighttime fragrance, I would say also. It's really, really nice. I mean, oud is a woody note anyway, although it's got some strange medicinal green tones going on, but there's cedar in this as well, which you can kind of smell, because cedar sometimes gives a kind of pencil shavings, powdery tone to a perfume, so it's all of those things at once. It's a really, really good balance of oud, rose and raspberry. And rose is always a difficult one to talk about because it's reincarnated a million times over, and it can be bended to smell different ways, and it's usually very soft. But in this is really prominent. It's like a big old jolt of rose, so I really like that about it. I think it's lovely. I shouldn't talk behind my arm, should I? But it's just habit. So that's it for the main part. I mean, that's it for at least 20-30 minutes. You've got a good, completely triply split thing, raspberry, rose and oud. Really nice, kind of high pitched, a little bit sharp, but very sexy at the same time. And when it's dry, like I said, a lot of the other notes in this just get a little bit lost, mainly the florals. It doesn't, oud can be very unforgiving, and in this one it kind of is. It's the star of the show, but it does get more floral on the dry down. I don't smell anything in the way of patchouli in my head. Leather and oud, you can kind of put them in the same box. They don't smell the same, but the kind of odour that they give off is quite similar. They're on the same track, where it's kind of rough and dark and heavy, and leather does contribute to it as well. But everything else kind of falls by the wayside. You're really just, the oud kind of backs off a little bit when it's dry. It's more pleasant, I would say, when it's drying. Benzoin, not even a factor. I would say benzoin is normally used as kind of a fixative. It's a kind of caramelly vanilla which gives longevity, but in this, non-existent as well. So it just seems to be a huge harmonious blend between rose, raspberry and oud, and that's it. It's a little bit intoxicating. It's kind of chic and elegant. It's crazy actually how it smells different from here to here. The oud is still going strong here, but here it is a lot more floral here. It's the raspberry's gone as well. It's more, I don't know, the dry down's really baffling me. I do like it though. It's essentially an oriental woody fragrance, and I don't really think the dry down seems to be more of a floral oud than anything else. The raspberry is in the base notes, but it kind of disappears, so it smells much more refined and floral in the heart. It's absolutely beautiful, I'm not going to lie. The more I smell it, the more I'm thinking I need to get this one. It is quite expensive though. And by the way, it was actually 2011 that it came out. I researched my research. So yeah, very elegant, very chic, kind of sharp. The woodiness gives it that lifted, sharp tone, and it does smell Arabian. It really does. I mean, you can't get away from that when you smell oud. It's Arabian oud. It kind of goes hand in hand, but this seems more of a fruity, floral kind of oud, and it's very, very nice. I love it, and that's all really I can say about it, because I'm running out of things to say. So I hope you enjoyed the review. Click up here to subscribe, wherever it is, and I'll see you guys soon for another review. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy your weekend. Goodbye!